Kia ora Year 12 and Year 11. This is question 6 from assignment 3 in the Cambridge A-level assignments from 2019. It's a really straightforward question about the factor and remainder theorem. So if you're watching this and you're doing level 3 calc, you might want to watch as well. What makes it not easy is if you don't spot that it's a factor and remainder theorem question. And some of you did some amazing efforts with polynomial long division, but it's actually about a probably 1-page question. It's worth 5 marks, so you know there's going to be some work involved, but it's not too bad. So let's have a look and see how we can spot that it's a factor and remainder theorem question. Well, we're given a polynomial and we're asked to figure out what a and b are. That's part 1. We're told 2 things. We're told that x plus 1 is a factor, and that when the polynomial is divided by this, we get a remainder of 1. So we're going to use those 2 things to write 2 simple equations in terms of a and b, and then we're going to solve simultaneously. Now, I'd like to see some communication that we're using the factor theorem. So we're going to say something like this. By the factor theorem, p of negative 1 equals 0, where p of x is my polynomial. So a nice answer will have a statement like that. And we've talked in class quite a lot about mathematics being all about how you communicate. So that stuff is important, even if you just want to get to the answer. Right, so let's do that first. Now we're going to substitute in negative 1. That's going to give me negative 8 plus a minus b minus 1 equals 0. I get a really simple little equation. A minus b is equal to 9. So let's just stick that there. Now, by the remainder theorem, what can I say next? Well, the next factor that I'm looking at is 2x plus 1. So the way we figure out the value to put in, to go over it again, is to say, well, what x value is going to make 2x plus 1 equals 0? It's x equals negative 1/2. So we know that the remainder is going to be 1. So p of negative 1/2 is equal to 1. We now substitute that value in. So we get 8 times that number cubed plus a times negative 1/2 squared plus b times negative 1/2. Take away 1 is equal to 1. Now, cleaning that up, I get negative 8 over 8 plus a over 4 minus b over 2 equals 2. A little bit more work. Whoops, don't know what happened there. There's a over 4 minus b over 2 is equal to 3. Timesing everything through by 4 gives me a minus 2b equals 12. And we're going to put that together with our first simultaneous equation. We've got a minus b equals 9, a minus 2b equals 12. So subtracting the second one from the first gives me b is equal to negative 3. So a minus negative 3 equals 9. Chucking it back into that one, a is equal to 6. So we've got our a and our b, and we've got 5 lovely marks, and we've solved the problem. Now we want to write that into my polynomial. So p of x is equal to 8x cubed plus 6x squared minus 3x minus 1. And we know that x plus 1 is a factor. So when we go to factorise this, I'd do it by inspection, because I'm going to have 8x squared here. I'm going to have something I don't know here. And to match that minus 1, I must have a minus 1 here. Now, the next thing I can do is I can match on pretty much anything. I'm going to match on the x squared. So I've got 6x squared on the left-hand side, 6x squared, and that's going to come out of 2 terms, 8x squared there, plus bx squared. So b has to equal negative 2, right? I've got 8x squared here, take away 2x squared here will get me back to 6 of them. So p of x is x plus 1 times 8x squared minus 2x minus 1. Let's factorise that quadratic fully. Now the reason I'm doing this very quickly by inspection is that I can see here that I've got to take away 1. So these numbers have got to be 1 and 1. And let's see which way it's going to go around. Well, I want to have the minus going with the 4. So it's going to be 4x plus 1 and 2x minus 1. Now, I very stupidly had that the wrong way around in the model answers that I put up about a week ago. I'm guessing no one's looked at them because you would have picked that up, I'm sure. I've redone it and I'll scan them later on today and put the correct ones up. Alright, so that was a nice factor theorem and remainder theorem one. If you're having trouble with that idea, either go to the Delta book for lots of practice or just hop on to Education Perfect or Khan Academy. Thanks for watching.